is for Ajanaku. Cool. Well, I suppose you have to go right back to I left St Martin's in 1990. Went to Italy and was working for design studios in Milan, and also some of the jeans brands. And from working in Italy, then I returned to England, and I really felt that there was a need for more interesting, more niche menswear. At the time we had like very high fashion menswear, which was quite camp in its style. And we had very low-end menswear, and it was just appalling. So we really was like a new movement of brands who started up bridge contemporary niche menswear really. Well, I think really when you're looking at design and you're looking at menswear, being British, we have a long history with the military, and I think you can look at from the First World War with the trench coat that Burberry's does, to the Second World War, to all the wars really. Menswear is quite masculine in its look. You can go to John Galliano, who looks at the Revolution. Menswear it's really, its main influences come from military. It's also a bit of a fascination. It's something that I'm interested in, and if you can combine something you're interested in your work, you know, job's a good one. Yeah, this was interesting. We were manufacturing everything in England. We were looking for new suppliers, and we found the second oldest company in England, which is based in Bridport, and they made all the military sails and ropes for the ships, dating right back to Nelson and King Henry VIII. And if you go to Bridport, you'll see the wide avenues, and coming from Portsmouth, it's always been an interest, the Navy. And then I realised they were also making nettings for aeroplanes now, and also making the camouflage that they use with the military. So we took the technique that they use for the camouflage, and we just applied it to clothes. It's something now that we use on laser cutting machines in Italy, but that's where the ideas come from. We've had a lot of fun with it. We've run it for quite a few years, and it's a couple of my favourite garments. Banksy, well, that was going back to the start of the Iraq War. We had a shop on Portobello Road. It was quite a meeting point for different people who were very much involved in the anti-war coalition, and that from 3D, Damon Albarn, and Banksy's a very good friend of theirs. And because we're in clothing, they're in music, Banksy's obviously in media, it was just a good way to really just to do something together. We had been a big fan of Banksy for years, and we liked his work. He did at the time a lot of work in Portobello, and it just seemed something natural. It's something we did for a reason, and that was the reason it came together. And that's as simple as it is, you know, and well done. Yeah, the women's wear is funny because we get a lot of girls like the masculine style from Griffin, and every 5 years we normally have a catwalk show or an exhibition which will involve women's wear. We had a couple of designers in Griffin who wanted to explore the menswear, take it apart and re-engineer it. And it came about that it looked great. We did it for the show, then we had some orders from Izatan in Japan, and so we started making it. But women's wear it's a harder market in the sense it's very celebrity driven. We're not very celebrity driven in our style. It's quite glamorous and it's not really a thing we do. So I think it's something we always do because I love girls and it's always great to have naked ladies in the office. But on the other side, you lose a lot of money doing catwalk shows. Japan. Well, I think it's just a respect for their culture, really. I went there 15-20 years ago and just fell in love with Japan. I found there was a lot of things that were similar to Britain. There's a lot of things which are completely opposite. The culture is rich, their food is fantastic, and Tokyo is ever-changing, not similar to London in a way that London is a young person's city and it's completely changing. But with Japan, it's you can only go there and smile because it's so much fun. It's a place which is ever-changing, and we've always sold Griffin clothes really well in Japan. So I suppose from going there very very early on, we had a great response, and it's always sold well in Japan. We've got a shop there, and we've done lots of work there. So long may it continue, really. Well, it was 16 years ago, so my life was completely different then. I was very naive. We were doing catwalk shows, exhibitions, guerrilla stores. I think we achieved what we wanted to do. We were very naive, didn't understand a lot of things. But you know, I've had 16 years of having a lot of fun. We set out to do something. I think we probably, because we're not very good at business, grown as much as we thought we would grow. Because probably we've just had the big boys come along and replace us. But on the other side, I think it's probably been more fun keeping it small. Small is beautiful. You can interact with your customer more. We have some great relationships. I think our quality is better than it's ever been. And our manufacturing is absolutely fantastic. So I think in a way the brand could have grown a lot bigger, but then we would have had to sell out to the big corporate guys. So in a way I think we've achieved everything and probably more that we set out to do. You know, I live in a great place, I produce some great garments, and we enjoy what we do. It's a bit under the radar, very difficult to get hold of our things. It's limited to a few shops around the world, but we enjoy it. The future. Well, I think there's a lot of people who decided to go for bigger brands and have had a hard time. I think with us, we're small, we're the underdogs. We put everything we've got into the garments, we put everything into what we do. We've been creating some great films recently. And I think the future is ever changing. I think the internet has changed everything completely. We're now selling direct so we can give better prices to the customer. We're enjoying it. We've you know, probably when I started I was quite arrogant about everything. I've now got older, wiser, and we're now moving on to new projects. Some projects we're doing in Japan, but I think the biggest project we're doing now is we've moved to North Devon. And if you could see around here, you can see it's all boxes, all packed up to go. And we've moved into the cliffs, and with moving to the cliffs we've got new ideas to create a new business with Griffin, which is a pod eco retreat. We've been doing lots of research on transparency, environmental, carbon reduction, and we're looking to just take Griffin for the next 10 years into another world. Obviously still the clothing, because that's what I'm good at, and the other stuff I'm sure I'll learn along the way. But it's about always reinventing yourself. So you know, the minute you started Griffin is as exciting as it is now. So yeah, no, I think the future will be a lot of fun. I hope. Cool. Okay. I'll see you later.